Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We thank you guys so much for jumping aboard. Our numbers have been going through the roof. We really appreciate your support. We got another great show for you today. We do it each and every day, 2 hours, Tampa Bay sports-centric sports talk, and we have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully we inform you, make you laugh, and make you think a little bit, and that's what we're here for. And my good friend and cohort here, IndyCar Tim, is with me from our Dallas studio, our DSP affiliate. What's up, partner? How are you?
Yo. Good 34-degree morning here in the DF Dub. It's chilly.
And,
I got the heater on in the studio.
Yeah, well, you know what? The aliens need it cold, because this is Alien Invasion Day. You know that, right?
Yes.
Like it's over after this. So don't pay the mortgage. Right? Do not pay the mortgage. Do not pay the alimony. Do not pay any of that stuff.
Go buy yourself a car. Get to
use it all for hookers and blow, because clearly you can do all you want and get away with it in this country. Yeah. Don't forget that. That's always important. That's always
as long
important.
as your dad's the president, you can do whatever you want.
Tim, I'm a little angry right now after all this. We've been lied to. We've been lied to. We were told if we go to school and we're honest and we have integrity and we work hard, that the world is our oyster. We could do whatever. And my basic instincts were telling me all along, no, go do crack, hookers, blow, all you want, go at it. There'll be no repercussions. I knew it. We were lied to, and I'm not happy about it.
Some of us did all that anyway.
And no repercussions either?
No repercussions.
Who do you know? Who do you know? Oh, that's right. You're in the Rick Perry thing. Oh, that's right. You are connected. Okay.
Yeah, Rick Perry is family friend, man. He was the biggest pardon I ever had.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, it's good to know. It's good to know.
You had to sign the letter to get me into A&M. That might have been the biggest death sentence right there.
Nobody's above the law.
Nope.
All right. Anyway, it's good to know that when the aliens come down, there will be law again. So we'll see. I went down the rabbit hole this morning on Twitter. I'm like, oh, alien invasion is trending. I'm like, look at this video. Oh, wow. This is awesome. All right. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show, though, when they make themselves known.
Right. Well, by the way, our show, the JP Peterson Show in FanStream Sports, we will have the exclusive interview with the alien leader before anybody else. ABC, CNN,
of course.
Fox, they'll be on our show because they've
probably been watching. They've been monitoring the show for quite some time.
They watch every day.
Judging by the comments that we get, they've been monitoring the show.
They're all commenting every day too.
I don't know which one of you are the aliens. Maybe Rick. It might be Rick.
It's probably Rick, right?
Probably Rick. Yeah. Because it's a higher intelligence, no question. It's either Rick or Bucs basement. I don't know. One of the two.
Maybe both.
Maybe both. We'll see. They're supposed to take off their skins today, so we'll then reveal themselves. So it's gonna be a big day. Lots of spaceships and shape.
By the way, I think one of them is playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, look at that professional segue. We're 4 minutes in, and there we go. That's why you watch the show, folks. That's why you watch the show. We're just professional segues like that. You know what? I've known Jameis for a long time, since his Florida State days, and I'll have to say yes. Yeah, if all the people on earth he has superpowers. He has superpowers. There's no doubt. Like you cannot watch him and not say that's different. That's special in so many ways. So many ways. And so I'm on the Hard Rock app last night. I'm like, well, I'm gonna make a little money on this. I'm just gonna bet Jameis to throw a pick, and I go on there, and it's like minus 200, like minus 200 to throw a pick. Has there ever been?
I'll tell you something.
Has there ever been a quarterback that was minus 200 to throw a pick? Because I'm like, Monday Night Football. He's gonna be extra hype. He's gonna want to show everybody. He's gonna take every chance he could possibly take, and he's gonna throw a pick. Yeah. Little did I know there'd be 3 picks, 2 pick sixes. Oh my God. It was just the greatest Jameis performance ever. A career high, 498 yards. It was amazing.
I told you off the air before the show, I did the post-game calling for the game yesterday over at Athlon Sports for the Browns site, and I think I led the whole thing off with Jameis Winston had the most Jameis Winston game of all time. Flashes of brilliance,
yes,
and then the dumbest interceptions you'll ever see a quarterback throw.
I
felt like I was describing Dak Prescott for a minute.
Yeah, it's like Space Mountain and the Haunted Mansion all in one. All in one. It's like it's one ride, one ticket. That's what you get if you're going to Disney World. You get them both, and that's the Jameis experience. Yeah. 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions in 2019. Absolutely fabulous to watch. Keeps both teams in the game. Great entertainment. Got to be a huge ratings bonus they got last night. He should get part of that.
Oh man,
but
only thing we were missing was snow, right?
Yeah, right. We got that last week.
Yeah, I mean, we did.
Jameis in prime time. Come on. Jameis in primetime is the greatest show on turf or snow. He is. I'm just, it's the most entertaining thing. I can't take my eyes off it. I wish he was mic'd up, and I would tune into that channel during the game. You know, he's like telling people to jump off sides, and Lord knows what's going on the bench, pregame, postgame, just the best. We got some great sound coming up here from Jameis.
By the way, he should get credit for 6 touchdown passes last night.
He should. No, this is the best stat of the night. The most yards accounted for in the history of an NFL game, 668, and 6 touchdowns. If you would throw in the pick sixes, he accounted for 668 yards.
That's insane.
And 6 touchdowns. How awesome is that? How awesome is that?
It was fun to watch, man. I'm not going to lie. It was about as between him and Bo Nix, man. I didn't realize they were from the same town in Alabama.
Bessemer, yeah. Both from Bessemer, Alabama.
No idea. They had a touchy little moment there at the end of the game. That, it was kind of sweet. So
yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal to watch. And am I glad he's no longer my quarterback? Yes, I am. Am I thankful for the 5 years we got? Yes, I am. I mean, and I'm telling you, go back and watch that Hard Knocks with the Bucs. And now it's Hard Knocks with the Browns during the season. It's the best. He is the most entertaining television. And you brought this up pre-show. You just can't watch it because you just feel like it's awkward.
It's like a Ben Stiller movie for me, dude. It's just awkwardness, or an episode of The Office that I couldn't watch because it was that Michael Scott character was just too awkward. I'm one of those people. I never watched The Office until he left the show. When he left the show, I thought it was great. But I couldn't watch it with Michael. It's just awkwardness.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot of that going on. But to me, it's so fun to watch. It's like but the beauty of it is it's not all train wreck. There is absolute magnificence in his game. There's magnificence in his game in some of the throws that he makes. It's incredible. And he made a lot of great decisions last night in terms of going to the right guy. But it never fails. It just never fails. He can't stay away from the pick six. His first throw in the NFL was a pick six.
Yeah.
His last throw.
The story was written.
It's his last throw for the Bucs was a pick six.
Yeah.
I mean, pick sixes they're rare.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about Jameis Winston. And it's throwing, and he just has this ability to do it like none other. So here's Jameis after the game, which is absolutely classic. Here we go. What did I do there?
I am a better player, but in times like this, it's an opportunity to continue to glorify the Lord even through the toughest circumstances. I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. That's not me. Like, a phenomenal game, offense, do some great things, but I messed it up.
Maybe throwing pick sixes is how he glorifies his God. Maybe that's his tribute right there.
Well, the Lord does please all. He tries to please all, right? The Lord wants abundance for all of us, of those who believe. And so he gives, Jameis giveth and he taketh away. He's such a biblical character in so many ways. But in a game like this, every play he makes somebody happy. Every play he makes somebody happy. One team or the other. It's not gonna be, minimum. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big, absolutely big. So anyway,
And I will say this: I don't know how Jameis Winston. And maybe I don't give him enough credit for being a smart quarterback or a good quarterback, because I really don't. I don't think he's clearly better than Deshaun Watson, but
yeah,
who isn't? But the way he carved up that freaking top 3 Denver defense in the secondary, dude, those corners and those safeties are still turning their heads looking for a pass from Jameis Winston today, because he just carved that thing up for 497 yards.
Yeah.
And if it was a different quarterback, all the attention today would be on Jerry Jeudy, who had a record-breaking game against a former team. Not sure if you were aware of this or not.
Yes,
I think they talked about it on the broadcast. But dude, his tenure in Denver was just horrible. For a first-round pick out of Alabama, right? And he just struggled. And to come back to Mile High and to have that kind of game, and for it to be him and Winston doing it together, I just thought it was a thing of beauty, man. And you know what? Sean Payton's one of my buddies. I just cannot like the Broncos for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix. I can't stand Bo Nix.
Why? What did he ever do to you?
But dude, just from his days in Auburn, I never thought he was a good quarterback. I don't know how he had success at Oregon or at where we go with the Pac-12. At Oregon, yeah. And I thought he was going to be a bust, dude. But and I've never watched one of his games until last night.
Yeah.
Good God, that dude's
he carved up the Bucs, something special. That was really his coming out party, because prior to playing the Bucs, he struggled. A professional segue coming here.
Right.
And then he played, that soft ass zone defense that Todd Bowles likes to play against rookie quarterbacks, and throw all these exotic blitzes at him that actually end up just sending 4 guys and nobody can get home. I'm watching the All 22 last night, and I'm just ridiculously frustrated. I can't imagine what these players are going through for the Buccaneers. I just can't, because what the defensive that he's running, it just makes no sense. Here's some numbers for you, courtesy of our friends at Joe Bucs fans. And I as I'm watching the All 22, he sends me this stat, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm watching. Like, this is crazy. So Bryce Young, who struggled mightily against everybody, against zone on Sunday, was 23 of 32 for 242 yards. 23 of 32 for 242 yards. And while they're playing that zone, there's a lot of zone pressures where they show 6 guys and then they drop everybody out and they rush 4. Every time they rush 4, they had 0 pressure. Like, watching these rush ends try to beat, average tackles and just get nowhere. Talk about Anthony Nelson, Yaya Diaby, Chris Braswell can't do anything. I mean, these guys
just such an up and down season.
They just get stoned. They just can't get pressure. They can't beat anybody. It's really bad. It's really bad. And when they sent 6 and played man behind it, they had great success. They gave up one big play, which was the one where Cansey comes free and almost gets Bryce Young, who makes an unbelievable escape, who rolls to his right. And I believe it's Izzy, and jumps the route because he doesn't think Bryce Young can throw it behind him because he's running at an angle away from the rusher, which I probably would have thought myself. And Bryce Young makes this incredible cross-body throw down the sideline to when the guy went deep. That was a hell of a play. And Izzy, and yes, I actually will give him a little credit for trying to jump a route and get a pick, which our defenders never do. So he got caught, and that was the play. But as far as I can say, I'm not all the way through the all 22. That was the only time they sent 6 and they didn't have success. And you heard Mark Schleith on the broadcast saying, it seems like they're blitzing sometimes, but they really wouldn't. It would look like a blitz, but then they drop Vita Vea out, drop Cansey out, drop defensive lineman out, and send. It's not working. It's not working. You can say what you want, and I know Todd has a great reputation as a defender. Whatever it is, this defense sucks right now, and especially in the clutch. And if you're against man, by the way, he was 3 of 14 for 56 yards. So 3 of 14 versus man for 56 yards, 23 of 32 So 32 and 14, that's more than double the amount. I think it's more 50%. What is that, 100%?
Yeah.
32 plays you went zone and got torched. 14 plays you went man and had great success. So what do you do in crunch time when they have to go down the field? Zone. Right down the field. It's maddening.
Yeah.
It's maddening. These players are not this bad. I just don't think they're this bad. And I don't know why he doesn't. And I think it's just because as a head coach, you don't want the defense to be the problem and be the reason you lose. But it's constantly the reason this team loses. And to me, it's, look, get aggressive and stay aggressive. You've got Dean back now. You got Zion McCollum back. Play man, rush 5 and 6 because you cannot get any pressure with 4. Zero pressure. Any quarterback can sit back there and pick you apart if he's not being pressured at all and knows it. He'll just wait for the route to develop. You can't cover that long. You just can't. And so if they're going to do anything down the stretch, Todd Bowles has got to get a hell of a lot more aggressive and trust his players defensively to play man. Yeah, you're going to get beat from time to time. You are. But if you just sit back in that zone, you're definitely going to get beat.
Getting beat from time to time is better than getting beat every play.
Exactly. And of the 46 passes that he threw, only 1 pass breakup. And you go through the tape, almost every single receiver is wide open. Like there's the separation, and you see this every single game. This can't be a defense that is viable. Every time these guys are wide ass open. There's nobody near them. Like contested catches, one. Well, there may be a little bit more contested catches. I should say that, but 1 pass breakup.
Yeah.
For the most part, and we've seen this all season. The separation is just ungodly. It averages like 4 or 5 yards. I mean, that's just insane. And these players aren't that bad. So
and
this is something that's got to be fixed.
This is part of the problem when you have a head coach who is your defensive coordinator. There's no one to hold him accountable other than the front office, right? And they're not going to make adjustments or force a hand in the middle of a season. They're not coaches. They're executives. So Todd Bowles, his defense sucks. He doesn't have a head coach come to him and say, hey, we need to figure this out. There's something wrong. Let's fix it, or we're going to have to make some changes. He's the head coach. He should already be doing that, but he's not accountable to anybody but himself for his defense. James has this tidbit. The fourth quarter, Bryce Young was 14 of 18 for like 180 versus the zone. I mean, it's one thing if you sucked at man and sucked at zone. And I know part of it, you don't want to run a lot of man because, he can get out and run like he did for the touchdown against what? Four-man pressure. Gets, just runs out and then it runs to the pylon. It's mind-boggling. So if you're good at man, which clearly these numbers suggest that you are, why are you not playing more man? Those ratios should be flipped around, right? Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It took them forever to figure out. We're getting 1.3 yards per carry when we block zone. When we block more, when we block the counter, and we move, we pull, and we use the athleticism of these offensive players, we're getting 5 yards a carry. Okay, well, as a play caller, let me think about this. I mean, this is where analytics can really help you out and back up what you're seeing with your eyes. This is just, it's something that's very, very fixable. Yeah. And listen, if not for Anthony Nelson, Babyface Nelson, which I love his new moniker, Babyface, because he is a Babyface Nelson. Yeah. Nicest guy in the world, by the way, you'll ever meet. Which is probably why he doesn't, get a lot of run, as much playing time, because as Bowles suggested, he's kind of slightly built. He's not an Adonis like JTS, but he sure plays a hell of a lot better than that guy does. So I guess we're making playing time decisions based on how good your body is. All this guy does is get results when he plays. That's all he does. Is I think he's been underappreciated and underused for his entire career here. And that play, without question, ripping that ball out, saved the season. Here's Babyface Nelson after the game. And this is also a week where his wife gave birth on Friday. Thankfully, he didn't do I'm going to stay with you, honey, over the weekend because you gave birth. So I'll just sit here and watch you, change diapers. No, go to work. Go to work and go save the season.
Yeah. Good
It was a busy week. We had a baby boy on Friday. Me and my wife blessed with our second baby boy. And now here in Charlotte playing football, it's been a fun week. It's been a good week. But I'm ready to go home. I've been at the hospital or football for the last 3 days, so I'm ready to get to my house. Plays just happen. That's why you play every play. You got to play hard. You got to attack the ball. You got to attack the runner when you're tackling, doing all the right things, and then eventually sometimes it just lines up. I was just glad Yaya was able to get the ball. I was a little nervous watching him trying to pick it up. We're fighting every play. Every play is a new play, and we're just playing one and moving on and attacking every play with everything we got. It's just a mentality that has been built into us from camp, from OTAs, that allows us to kind of regroup and make those stands that really help us win today.
Does mommy or does Eli get a game ball?
Oh, yeah, they get game balls all the time. She can have whatever she wants.
Smart man. Yeah. He already figured that part out.
You know why I love Anthony Nelson?
Why is that?
Because he reminds me, and he shares a name with one of my all-time favorite television characters ever. Do you remember who Tony Nelson was?
I Dream of Jeannie? Yes. Anthony Nelson. That's right.
That's all I can think of, man. That's all I can
Cocoa Beach. Oh, Barbara Eden. Oh.
I probably still wouldn't. She's like,
oh. I thought as a kid, because I grew up in Hollywood. If I drive up to Cocoa, you think I'll see Barbara Eden?
Man.
Cocoa Beach. I'm like,
Cocoa Beach.
Mom, can we go? Can we drive to Cocoa Beach? Can we go to Cocoa Beach? Like, we have a beach 2 miles away. Yeah, but Cocoa Beach is much nicer. They've got mountains there.
Right. Mountains at Cocoa Beach.
Yeah. Mountains.
Some on TV.
Yeah. I'm on TV. Yes. A great show. Oh my God. And
Did
Major Healy?
Barbara Healy? Oh, Roger Healy. Yeah.
Oh my God. One of the greatest characters in the history of sitcoms.
Bill Daly. Yeah. That was the
oh my God. Horny bastard. He was great.
Did you know that Barbara Eden, we're getting off topic here, is what we do on the show, but Barbara Eden, they never showed her belly button on that show the entire run. They plugged it and make-upped it up. They didn't want to show her belly button because of censorship.
Really?
Yeah.
But they had the midriff.
They did, but you never saw a belly button because they covered it up.
I never knew that.
They thought showing the belly button would be too much.
Them Hooters were out there, but the belly button was the problem.
God, those were good Hooters too.
Yeah. Oh, magical. Yes, that was everybody's I Dream of Jeannie. Yes. Ashley's watching. She's going to get mad at me.
Oh, she's not.
She said she commented typical man. I don't know what was that about?
Probably me.
Yeah.
Probably talking about me.
Yeah. Or the hookers and below comments in the middle. Just kidding, honey. Just kidding. That was a Hunter joke. Stay awake. Aliens are coming.
Yeah.
Hide the kids.
Let us know if they knock.
Although she I shouldn't reveal this.
Uh-oh.
She has erotic dreams about aliens. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave. She's going to be so mad at me.
Wow. Breaking news.
She had one.
Y'all going to have an alien-themed wedding?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I'm going to invite them. Absolutely. I'll definitely invite them. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Keep a parking space open for the flying saucer. All right. Where else did we want to go this morning? And by the way, just some business to take care of here for the Buccaneers. They cut Trent Gill yesterday and undoubtedly had punting tryouts. We talked a little bit about this on the show yesterday, so we don't know who the punter's going to be, but he's got to be better than that skank. Shank? Did I say skank or shank? Either one works. So he's gone. What I'm worried about now is obviously the punter is always the holder too. Yeah. So Chase McLaughlin has just been money. And I think Gill's probably did a better job holding than he did punting and kicking off. Certainly could have cost him the game. I mean, Bowles was pissed yesterday about that, and he should be. Those two short fields cost them points and could have cost them the game, or could have cost them points. I think there was a missed field goal in there. which, Eddie Pinero, by the way, never misses from 40 and in. You got 2 misses. The Bucs were so lucky to win this game, and you can't change the narrative based on the results, in my opinion. I mean, you obviously you respect the results. Winning in the NFL is hard, but if you're going to, speak about these games like we do extemporaneously and break them down for, hours and hours a week, you cannot ignore the things that you saw that are troublesome. And so much of it is just absolutely fixable. And you wonder why they don't fix a lot of this stuff. So anyway, they should have a new punter by today. I don't know. They had one on the punt on the practice squad, so I guess that might be the guy. But let's not hope that the punting and the holding ruins this season, because it almost did in this particular game, and that's shameful. Yeah. I mean, to have that ruin your season is just not okay. All the work that these guys put in, and these knuckleheads can't punt a ball or kick it off into a 20-yard zone by 53 yards. Jesus Christ. Right. I mean, my God. Like, let's make sure that doesn't happen. Baker Mayfield got that injury. I mean, can you imagine getting cleated on the back of your ankle by Jadeveon Clowney? Like, all full force of 300 pounds with cleats coming down on an unpadded part, soft tissue. I mean, they probably ripped the skin off. I mean, and then he comes out, in the fourth quarter and runs for 11 yards and a first down. I mean, that dude is nails. He is nails. He had a couple knucklehead throws, but he is nails.
Yeah, speaking of untimely interceptions from time to time.
Yeah, yeah.
But you'll take that with him.
Yeah, we're going to have Matt Materas coming up with the Pewter Report here in just a second after the break. So we'll talk a lot more Bucs. I just want to get this in because we had some questions about the new defensive coordinator. We talked a little bit about him yesterday. Tony White from Nebraska, great credentials, 11th ranked defense in 2023, 19th ranked defense last year, or this year, I should say. When he went to Syracuse, they went from 1-11 and a horrible defense, went up 93 spots. You come in the next year and you're working with a lot of the same players and you take your defense up 93 spots. That's great coaching. I mean, I don't know this guy from Adam, but just looking at the numbers and what I see, he's from Key West, so he's got to be a cool dude. He went, you played at UCLA, I believe, as well. So the credentials look great. He's one of the highest paid defensive coordinators, and I guess that will continue at Florida State. So Gus Malzahn and Tony White, about as good of track records as you could get. If there's going to be a success, I don't know. They got to go get some players. National Signing Day is tomorrow. We'll have Pat Burnham on Thursday to talk about the Knowles class. The Gators class is looking fantastic, by the way. And we'll have all that for you tomorrow as it uncovers during the show.
I thought it was on the 7th. I think it's on the 7th.
Signing day?
Signing day. Yeah.
I think it's tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Check that. And during the break. All right, quick break. When we come back on the other side, Matt Matera is going to join us. He's in for Scott Reynolds this week. We're going to the bullpen to get the fireballer, right-hander. So we'll talk to Matt Matera when we come back. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group and here in the Jeeves Law Group studio. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you've been involved in an accident, it's your first call. It's got to be to the Jeeves Law Group. You can go to their website, contact them through there as well, email or call them. Tell them JP sent you. Great folks over here. They know what they're doing, and they are aggressive in representing you in all things legal. So whatever your legal issue may be, get a free case evaluation. Just call them. They'll give you a free case evaluation. Tell them what's going on, and they'll be able to help you out. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida. or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. They have a new exciting concierge medicine deal going on. We're going to tell you all about the details on that in the next couple of weeks. Talked with the great Chris Lugo last night. He's transitioning into a new type of deal that you'll want to be a part of. Get somebody that will direct your health personally. And I mean direct by giving you the workouts 24/7. You can call him and get any prescriptions that you might need. Have any issues at all, you get his personal cell phone. You get to call him. Having a doctor on call for you personally that knows you 24/7, it's worth it. It's no question about it. And it's very reasonable as well. So we'll be telling you more and more about that at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. There's only going to be a few of these available. So you got to jump on it. So we'll give you the details starting tomorrow. Going to get that ad up and running for you. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Matt Matera from the Pewter Report. Scott Reynolds is on assignment this week. What's up, partner? How are you? Love that hat, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I need a new golfing hat.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a Jordan hat. Yeah, a little bit different with the purple, but need a new golfing hat. But thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing well.
Oh, absolutely. Love having you on. I listen to your pods every week, man. All of them. The 1,000 pods that you guys do a week. I listen to all of them. It's great stuff. It's very entertaining. You guys do a fantastic job. So glad to have you on. So I gotta hit you with this. I'm not sure if you were here for the Jameis years, but Lord, if you missed those, I'm sorry. They were so wonderful in so many ways, and tragic and wonderful in so many ways. How about that performance last night? You guys had to enjoy that.
Yeah, I was on the tail end of Jameis. I had him I was here for covering the Bucs for Cutters last year, and then obviously the first year Bruce Arians was the last year of Jameis. It was vintage Jameis. It was what makes him the most electrifying player in sports, not just football, in sports. You got the good, you got the bad, you got everything that encapsulates Jameis as a quarterback. So, yeah, it was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, no question. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Sunday. As I was just saying, so many you got to love the way this team fights and plays hard till the end. And that's a special quality. It's a championship quality. You could tell that there's championship DNA on this team because of that. That said, if you're a Buccaneers fan and you're rooting for this run, what you saw Sunday was not necessarily what you wanted to see. You wanted to see a team go out there and execute and step on the neck of an inferior team. And I know Carolina's better, and I know they've been playing better, and they're playing at home, all that good stuff. But still, that was as sloppy as it gets. And if not for Anthony Babyface Nelson coming up with the strip of the year, with all apologies to the girls over at Mons, that was the strip of the year. 2001, the spaceship, since it is Alien Invasion Day. That was the play of the year, and it saved Bull's ass. Let's just be honest, because if that doesn't happen and the Panthers win, what's the narrative this week? The defense is awful. It can't hold leads. What the hell's going on? So what's your overall take on this?
Yeah, my main takeaway from that game, and it was thrilling, it was chaotic for sure, as we've seen the Bucs do from time to time. I look at it as overall a game where the Bucs were barely average, probably more mediocre, but they had a couple of heroes that saved the day for Tampa Bay. Obviously, Anthony Nelson was one of them, and really the only one on defense, unless you want to include Yaya Diaby recovering the fumble.
Yep.
And then offensively, the heroes were Mike Evans, of course, Bucky Irving, who was tremendous, and that Bucs offensive line. But Baker Mayfield had a bad game, but he showed his grittiness and his heart and his hustle with tying the game up at the end, and then helping the team win in overtime as well. The receivers, it's still pretty much barren after Mike Evans. Cade Otton has not been the Cade Otton that he was when Mike and Chris were both out. So, yeah, a lot of average to mediocre play with a couple of heroes stepping up to help beat the Panthers. Certainly more concerned about the defense than I am the offense. I just kind of chalk it up to a bad game for Baker Mayfield that I don't expect to see moving forward.
Yeah, as far as Baker goes, the toughness, I mean, I was just talking about this. I can't imagine the pain of a human being that big, Jadeveon Clowney with hard cleats on a somewhat cold day, just coming down on the back of your ankle, your Achilles. And Baker even said he thought, he ripped his Achilles because of that burning feeling. I mean, I can't. If you've ever played football and been stepped on by a hard plastic cleat, it freaking hurts. And
it's the worst.
A man that big coming down on your ankle on that side, just ouch. And then, minutes later, when he's throwing a pick, that's bad. But maybe a few minutes later, he's running for a first down at top speed, like ankle be damned. I got to get to that first down. And then making great throws in overtime and to get the time to it's vintage Baker, but he's got to cut back on the hero ball. He's got to cut back. You know what it looked like to me? Jameis.
Yeah.
Dude, know when the play is over. No, he's done such a great job extending plays that I think he's kind of gotten to the point where I can extend them in any way. And so you don't want to take that never say die attitude away, but there are points, and especially that the one pick before the half. He got away with one right before then that he threw the sideline that
exactly
pick six. I don't know what the corner was thinking. He wasn't looking at the ball. Otherwise, that's a pick six. He comes back the next play and throws the same damn thing. Like, so this is that was frustrating for me. What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely. I literally had the same conversation with a couple people at Peter Report that was what you saw with Jameis Winston. It's trying to save the day when you don't necessarily have to right away. And, sometimes it does look amazing. It does look like a highlight reel thing, like when he's stiff-arming Bosa a couple weeks ago against the 49ers and gets the pass off. But in the same light, it's like when he gets away with those moments, it encourages him to do it more. And I'm with you. The throw right before the first interception was just as much of a bad play, but it worked compared to, the next play on the interception. So you don't want to take away the mentality that Baker has because, again, like you mentioned, when he sprints for that first down late in the game and when he has the poise to bring the Bucs back into it when it looked like they were going to lose the game, you don't want to take that away. But sometimes you do wonder, like, can he got through a full season last year. I don't know if he's going to be able to get through a full career with the Buccaneers with the physical style that he plays. And I love it. And I love that he wants to win as much as the fans want the Buccaneers to win as well, because he literally lives and dies with every single play. Can you tweak it a little bit? I honestly don't know. I think you just kind of got to live with it at this point.
So for me, it's kind of like the Brett Favre syndrome, right? The gunslinger mentality. Yeah. You're going to have those boneheaded picks, but you're also going to have those incredibly awesome plays that he'll make with his arm, with his feet. And you kind of got to take that good with the bad. And you just hope those bad aren't in critical game situations that cost you wins, but I don't think a player like Baker Mayfield, and again, I liken him a lot to Brett Favre back in his prime. And I don't think you can take that away from a guy. You can't settle him down. And I think Baker Mayfield is better when you give him the freedom to improvise and to do stuff like that. Otherwise, he's just another guy.
I hear you. And I think Baker's been on the record that Brett Favre was his favorite quarterback growing up. So you kind of see the similarities there for sure. I think what's difficult is, and at this point with this current Bucs team, Baker can't sling it as much because it's literally just throwing it to Mike Evans or dumping it off to one of the running backs. That's essentially the passing game right now. And the Bucs are still averaging close to 30 points per game. So I'm not really faulting what the offense is doing because it's been working for this entire season. I think where the problem lies a little bit, if you're comparing it to Favre, is just the different eras. And Favre could throw some interceptions, but still pass his way back into the game. Today's NFL with different schemes, game plans, the talent on the other side, I just don't know if you can get away with it in the same sense that Favre was able to back in the day.
Yeah, defenses are a lot faster now than they were in the 90s, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Indeed. Well, I don't think it's anything like you're saying, oh, don't scramble, like just tuck it and turtle. No, we're not saying that. This is just strictly on Baker and his decision-making. You want him to run around and do those things. Absolutely you do. I'm not saying not to. But it's a maturation thing. As you get older, you just that split-second decision – you'll learn, and he'll learn from those two, and he'll hopefully not throw them next time. But no, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, and I'll take the gunslinger over check down Charlie any day. Any day, check down Charlie ain't going to win you anything. It's nice, you'll get 8-9 wins every single year, but you'll never get to 13. You'll never get to the Super Bowl. So you got to take the good with the bad. And right now, I'll take it. There's been a lot more good than bad when it comes to Baker. So
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Just one last thing on that, because even before last season, before they even signed Baker Mayfield, there was talks of like Baker in the mix and Jacoby Brissett as well. And I was like, I don't want the Bucs to get Jacoby Brissett. That is just boring football. That is boring. I want the gunslinger. I want the risk taker in Baker Mayfield. And since he's been here in his year and a half, essentially, he's been way, way less reckless with the Bucs than he ever was with Cleveland. So yes, you get some of the boneheaded mistakes like you did against the Panthers, but he's still protecting the ball a lot better, and he's still way more efficient, scoring points for the Bucs and getting yards and touchdowns than he ever was in his previous stop. So overall, you'll gladly take what Baker has done this season.
100%. Now let's move to the defense. As we were pointing out, it just bears repeating again because I just love these stats. 32 and against man pressure, 3 of 14 for just 56 yards. I mean, if that doesn't tell you you suck at zone, I mean, if your eyes don't tell you, you got. Why is Bowles playing 2 times as much zone as he is man when the disparity in effectiveness is that much? And he always plays that soft ass zone in the clutch, and it never works. It never effing works. 14 of 18 in the fourth quarter. Bryce Young goes right down the field for a game-winning touchdown, and everybody's wide open. There's no pressure. It's just awful. Like, what the F?
I legitimately think Todd Bowles still gets nightmares from the 2021 divisional round game against the Rams when they sent the house at the end and Stafford was able to throw it deep. And I don't know. I think that still sticks with him. He is deathly afraid of allowing the big play, which the Bucs still have this year. And there's still miscommunication, and there's still guys, not in the right spot. But it blows my mind that you see the same mistakes over and over again, and they continue to do it. And it's so frustrating, right? Because if you look at the secondary, and it's not just the secondary, it's the pass rush, it's everybody involved. But when you're talking about, defending the pass, you obviously think about the secondary. And individually, you look at Antoine Winfield Jr., an all-pro safety, Zion McCollum, a great up-and-coming player for this team. Jamel Dean, injury history for sure, but solid as a starting corner when he's available in the lineup. Tyke Smith, again, when he's available, has been really good as a rookie. But collectively, they just haven't gotten the job done. And some of it is bowls, some of it is communication and stuff, which boggles my mind. We're in December and there's still issues.
That's coaching. Communication is coaching. If you're getting busts, then you're asking them to do too much that they can't understand it, or it doesn't matter. It's results driven. And when you're 6 yards from the receiver who's catching the ball consistently, that's just, it's an awful scheme. Whatever you're doing ain't working. Change it.
Yeah, the looks are the same ones that have been there for years. So it's not new. It's not something that the opponent hasn't seen before. And that's why you see Bryce Young, who struggled. He's played better for sure, but who struggled a ton this year, was able to carve up the Bucs on that last drive. We've seen other cases where, pedestrian quarterbacks look great. Even the great quarterbacks look fantastic. And every Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson highlight reel is going to start with their games against the Bucs, and Kirk Cousins for sure. Kirk Cousins can't throw a touchdown against any other team. He's thrown 6 interceptions over the last 3 games, but against the Bucs, he's thrown for over 500 yards. Yeah. So that's my biggest concern, and it shows how bad the New York Giants offense is, by the way, when they played them 2 weeks ago, because they looked good against the New York Giants, and then immediately reverted and regressed to what they've been all season. So it's a huge concern coming down the stretch. It'll keep every team in every game. And even if the Bucs make the playoffs, God willing, I mean, how could you say this team is a Super Bowl contender? No, I think their offense can get them there, but their defense will certainly hold them back. At this point, I think it's a stretch to say that the Bucs would get out of the first round of the playoffs just based on their defense alone.
100% agree. 100% agree. And the thing about it is, to me, it's fixable. I don't think it's a situation where, man, we got no talent. We have too many injuries. Like, this proves it. Man, you play 3 of 14. And by the way, you cannot get any pressure with 4. Like, I don't know why you have anything in your, and it doesn't matter which 4 you send, by the way, because he sent, and I'm watching the all 22. I'm like, okay, this time it's Braswell, Vita Vea's, back in coverage. I have no idea what that's all about. It's all these, it seems to be cool and we'll drop this guy. It doesn't work. Like, anytime you doesn't matter what 4 guys, unless you're going to go get, Shaq Barrett and JPP and bring back Warren Sapp, and it's not working. You can't get pressure with 4. They should never have a passing situation where they rush 4. It just doesn't work. Do something different, especially against a younger quarterback. But again, I think that's fixable. It's fixable. Like, be aggressive and stay aggressive.
I don't think the defense has tried to do many things different or evolve their game, because you look at a lot of the assistant coaches, they've been here for a very long time. They know what Todd Bowles likes. They know what Todd wants to do, and they coach that instead of looking for innovative ideas, different ways to go and attack the quarterback. Now, the 4-man pass rush, I agree for the most part. However, Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea have been fantastic in the middle, but those guys are going to get double teamed. You can come up with other ways to, try to stop them. So I think a lot of this, in my opinion, falls on the outside linebackers. I mean, Yaya Diaby, 2 sacks on the season, and he's generating a lot of pressure, and that's great. Let's give him a round of applause. But at the end of the day, it's about getting to the quarterback, knocking the ball out, or at least taking him to the ground, and not the pressure. So, the fact that Anthony Nelson, who was a backup player up until Joe Tryon-Shoyinka getting hurt, leads the outside linebackers with 3 sacks, I think tells a lot about that outside linebacker group.
Yeah, and Anthony Nelson, to me, has been underutilized forever. And just because he's a baby face and may not have the most, beautiful, thick body, whatever, what do you call him? Slightly built Anthony Nelson, I think Bowles called him. The guy gets it, I'm not saying he's a superstar, but you look at his snaps and his production compared to JTS, and it's not even close, or Braswell or anybody else. He actually makes tackles, gets to the quarterback, gets pressures, gets hit. Not too bad against the run. I think he's just underutilized, and he definitely saved the season. All right, who's the new punter? You? Who's punting?
I'm willing to try out. I don't think it'll help. But yeah, they have a punter on the practice squad. His name is Jake Browning or Jack Browning. One of them was the former quarterback for Washington. The other one kicked at San Diego State. Punter, but Browning, rookie, played at San Diego State. He actually punted and kicked. So if they need an emergency kicker at some point, hopefully not, because Chase Money McLaughlin's been fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's an option. But I would imagine the Bucs are, holding tryouts this week and bringing in a couple of guys. So yeah, I mean that clearly needed to change. That was abysmal what we saw from Trenton Gill. So it was the right move by the Bucs.
And injuries, looks like Mike Edwards got a hammy. That's the one I'm very concerned about. Any word on that? Thoughts?
He's getting an MRI, so until those tests come back, it's kind of still inconclusive. They're hoping to get Tyke Smith back this week. Bowles said he'll know more on Wednesday. And yeah, the freaking secondary. You finally get Mike Edwards. He looked pretty good against the Giants, almost had a pick, and then immediately gets hurt. It's just one of those seasons where the injury bug finds pretty much every position on this team.
Yeah, when you bring guys in who haven't been playing a lot and then they go play 50, 60 plays, they typically get hurt. That's the problem with those midseason acquisitions, but hopefully he can get back because he definitely helps. All right, the Raiders are coming in. I guess I haven't watched them play much. They're kind of in disarray a little bit. I know they've lost quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew's down, so I guess O'Connell's up or O'Donnell or whatever.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Raiders coming in here?
Well, obviously the first thing that sticks out, of course, is they still have Max Crosby, the defensive end edge rusher. So he's the number one guy you got to stop. If you're able to stop him, you can do a lot against the Raiders. And on the defensive side, quarterback-wise, it's been insane. They started with Gardner Minshew, then he got hurt. They went to Aiden O'Connell, then they went back to Gardner Minshew. Now they're back to Aiden O'Connell. You have Desmond Ridder waiting in the wings. O'Connell actually looked okay against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs keep every team around. Yeah. But again, with the way that the Bucs play defense, and O'Connell had starting experience last year, I could see him having a solid game just based on what we've seen from Tampa Bay. So I don't think for the rest of the season there's any legit pushovers for the Bucs the way that they just decimated the Giants a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Playing at home certainly helps. So, hopefully they can find a way to generate pressure. O'Connell's not a Pro Bowl player by any means, but as we've seen, the Bucs have made pedestrian quarterbacks look good, and hopefully that's not the case for this next game.
Yeah, you play soft zone, that's what you're going to get. All right, Matty, tell me what's coming up this week on the Pewter Report.
Yeah, more Pewter Report podcasts on our YouTube channel, Pewter Report TV. We'll have one tomorrow, obviously previewing Bucs versus Raiders. We'll dive deep into that. And, just keep the content churning out on pewterreport.com where you can find all of our work. All
right, my friend. Hopefully you survived the alien invasion today. Good luck with that. Live long and prosper, whatever the hell.
Right.
Thank you, man.
I think Vulcans are going to invade us.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You never know.
Appreciate it. Great talking to you.
How do you know it's not going to be the Vulcans? How do you know?
I said, I don't think.
It's the Sumerians. The Sumerians are coming back.
They're the ones that are coming back.
Yeah, the ones that visited the Sumerians. And yeah. That's why they had that advanced civilization. You ever seen some of their cave paintings or whatever the hell they have, their art? Like the flying saucers and sucking people up and stuff. Like, who's making that picture out of their imagination 5,000 years ago?
They saw it. I mean, they're drawing pictures of astronauts in space helmets and stuff.
Why did people just ignore this stuff? I was watching this. I was watching this video, oddly enough, this morning because it popped up, and it's this guy who worked in Area 51 on his deathbed, and he does this whole UFO presentation. I don't know why I haven't seen this before. It's like back in 1984, I think it was. Dr. Bob Byerson, I think is his name. And he's got these, storyboards he's bringing out, like the ones you did in 5th grade that kind of fold out and you set on the table. And he's got all the pictures, like, here's the piece of the alien stuff. And then, and when I put the UFO material underneath it, this thing weighs 100 grams. And when I take it away, it weighs 650 grams. That's how they do anti-gravity. I'm like, and like, this is not this is not some fake video that this is back in made with a camcorder in 1984. And I'm like, and he's got all these pictures and he's got pieces. And I'm like, what? Like, why haven't I seen this before?
That all got shut down real quick.
Yeah, it did. Right. Yeah. I'm like, holy hell. I mean, he's got pictures of the aliens. He's got photos of them.
That's how they get you.
I don't know. They're coming back. They're on their way.
They are.
All right, we'll take a quick break. You got some interesting college football sound coming our way, right?
I do.
Tease that?
Yeah, college football, the hypocrisy of the college football playoff, even in a 12-team bracket, as presented by Texas Tech Big 12 head coach Joey McGuire.
Ooh, I can't wait. Alabama's getting in, by the way. Hurricane fans.
That's a travesty.
Oh, bend over. Bend over. You're going to see what it felt like for us last year. Yep, no lube whatsoever.
Get ready to take it. No lube.
It's a risque show today. All right, we are brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's the holidays, folks. You're doing your shopping. They had their big Black Friday sale last week. Hope you got in on that deal that we told you about. And you got that $2,000 gift card now that you only paid $1,000 for. They'll have great specials like that coming up in December as well. It's always the place to shop for the holidays. It's all decked out. It's beautiful. They've got all the inventory there. You don't have to go anywhere else. Parking is easy. You get in, you get out. And the best thing, it's a local company that's been around for 40 years, folks. 40 years, so you can trust them. You know that diamond that you're buying is exactly what they tell you it is. You don't know it if you're buying it offline. It's probably a fake lab diamond, right? Or you go to some shop you've never been to before. You have no idea what you're buying unless you go to the Gold and Diamond Source. And they're trusted. They have the best selection, the best prices. And again, they are local. Keep everything local this year if you can. Back in 3, some college football. Stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808. 08.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports at FanStreamSports.com, the FanStream Sports mobile app, our YouTube channels, or wherever you get your podcasts. It's the JP Peterson Show with the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend.
I was trying to make some coffee, and I couldn't even do that in the break.
Couldn't make coffee?
What's that?
You couldn't make coffee?
Yeah, make coffee in the beautiful new studio
because the break's too short. See, I don't have time to go to the bathroom anymore during breaks. We made our breaks so much shorter.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go to the
we don't want to make them 8 minutes because that leads to bad things in evidently people don't like that. And
no, that's like terrestrial radio
tank dramatically when you do that. I don't know why.
But, no, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying I got to bring a cup with me to the studio now.
By the way, we now have rooms for a couple new sponsors. We try to keep it to, around 8 to 10. So we have rooms for a couple new sponsors. So if you're interested in joining this wonderfully affordable and high valued podcast as one of our local supporters, we love local companies. Jump aboard. Just email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com, jp@thejppetersonshow.com. And we don't say this enough. We have a link tree as well. You can go to the link tree on our bios there. And if you want to support the show, you can gift us, support us. We're non-corporate media. We could always use your support. Absolutely. We run on a very tight budget. We ain't these big ballers over here that are chasing billions of dollars, public money and all that stuff. They don't like us very much. The corporate media and those big, they don't like us very much because we kind of expose them and talk. We keep it real here as much as we can, without getting sued. So we appreciate any help you can, you want to gift us something. We would love to take it and put it right back into the business. I got to pay this guy. You know how much it costs to maintain that beard right there, just in product alone, right there, that thing. It's thousands and thousands of dollars a month. So please support the show where you can.
JP, did I tell you about the now that I'm going to say it out loud, maybe creepy thing that happened to me on Instagram the other day?
Ooh, no, I can't wait though.
I had some random account message me privately on Instagram, which you get all the time. You get the spam ones all the time.
Yeah.
This one looked a little bit different. Called me by name, mentioned my radio show, the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show.
Ooh.
Specifically, and said, I just graduated from beauty school. I'm working for a salon in the Colony, which is right down the street from me. I don't know how she knew that. I would love to maintain your beard for free. If you would just come in, I will do it for free. But I just want you to mention my name and give me some. I'm checking out her picture. I'm checking out her picture. I'm like, all right, I can be into this. Okay.
Right.
So my appointment is next week. So
keep us up to date on that.
We'll see. Yeah, she's a very attractive young lady. I'm not sure how young. That's the problem.
Wow.
So
wow.
I might see, depending on how the first appointment goes, I may see if I can swing that into a date. Is that creepy and inappropriate on my part or on her part?
No, she reached out. She's clearly interested. So yeah, absolutely. Right. Good luck with that.
There you go.
We got. I don't know if this is breaking news because we kind of broke it a couple weeks ago with Ken Hagan. But Channel 8 reporting this morning that Tampa and Hillsborough County leaders may once again be ready to play ball. This is one of my pet peeves, bro. So everyone, I worked in a newsroom for 25 years, and every once in a while you'll have the news department cross over to doing sports stories, and every time they do it, they just have this insatiable need to do sports puns. Like you can't, the Hillsborough County officials are ready to play ball with the Rays. They're hoping for a home run this time. I mean, it's like, please stop. It's not innovative. It's not creative. You sound like an idiot. Like,
it's not catchy anymore. Yeah, this is not the 80s.
But it's every time a news person does a sports story, they feel this insatiable need to do this.
Because it's their one chance. It is their one chance. They're holding on to those for their entire journalistic lives until they can finally do a sports story, and they have to have that release.
Oh my God. Once again, are ready to play ball with the Rays as the team and Pinellas County leaders remain at odds over the new stadium deal. The Rays will play the 2025 season at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa due to damages to Tropicana Field. The Tampa Sports Authority's agenda for their Tuesday meeting includes a discussion about prep work for the facility. Commissioner Ken Hagan and his says he's virtually met with members of the Sports Authority and Mayor Jane Castor about possibility of creating a permanent home for the Rays in Hillsborough County. There's economic as well as quality of life benefits associated with any major league franchise, Hagan said. According to Hagan, county leaders will respect the ongoing negotiations, blah, blah, blah. Quote, most important thing was for the team to remain in Tampa Bay for any reason. If things do not work out, the door would be open. We have the same position today. That door should be open and we can resume conversations. Everything he already told us 2 weeks ago. Renderings show a previous proposal for a new stadium in Ybor City. Commissioner Joshua Wolstall worries building a facility in Hillsborough would be a loss for taxpayers. This guy I already hate. They are hard. I saw an interview with him earlier, and he's just like, blah, hates anything to do with sports. I'm a nerd, and anyway, they are hard at work to try to put together these economic impact statements to try and justify taking more of your hardworking money to subsidize these billionaires, he says. You know, and this is one thing that pissed me off about this Channel 8 report they did like last week, and they had this guy Wolstall on. They do an interview with Ken Hagan, right? And I know Ken says these things because he says it every single time we ask him about money. He says, we are only going to do a deal that protects the taxpayers and uses tourist tax money that's specifically meant for stadiums and things like this to bring heads in beds, just like Pinellas was doing. He goes overboard talking about not soaking the taxpayers, that the team has to pay their share. The developer will have to pay their share. We'll create special taxing districts so the money that is brought in terms of buying foods and beverages will be used to pay off the stadium, the same model that's been used in Arlington. And we have done this story 1,000 times. And that reporter didn't put any of that in the story that Ken said, not one bit. And then goes to this guy, Wolstall, and he lets him go, oh, we get taxpayers, they're going to pay for it, your hardworking money. I mean, I understand that point of it. I get it. I totally understand it. But if Ken Hagan's going to say we're protecting the taxpayers, put it in the damn story. I'm so tired of journalists doing this crap. It's like I don't understand. Did you go to journalism school? You know, I work for Channel 8, and I know what their standards are, and that's not the standard. That's not the standard.
Right.
If a guy says it, and I know you got 2 minutes to do the story. I get all that. But if he's going to directly refute what this other guy is saying and specifically say he's going to text, and you're going to put this other guy's soundbite on, you have got to put that in the story. You got to do it. You just have to. You find a way to put it in there. After he says what Hagan also said that they're going to do everything they can to protect the taxpayers. Blah 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 blah. You got to do it, or you were that's agenda reporting, and that is not a fair story. Bottom line, there's journalism. I'm so tired of this. There are journalism ethics and morals. And if you're reporting as a journalist, you tell both sides of the story. And if somebody says something, you don't omit it just because it doesn't go with your narrative. That's not journalism. That's propaganda.
Yep.
Be better. Sorry.
No, that's a valid argument. Argument. And that's you know what that's the definition of? That's misinformation.
It's misinformation. That's exactly what that is.
With on a national level all of the time. Everyone's familiar with it, and it does creep down to the local levels in government and journalism, and it sucks because now the people that read that will only have half the story, and they're supposed to make up their mind on this topic reading half of the story, which makes no sense. Yes. That's why it's dangerous.
Okay, we have before we get to the coach, can we do some comments here because we've ignored our commenters for the most part.
Oh, I had one real quick. Yeah, that I wanted to get to specifically.
Okay,
let me jump on that real quick. It was from James right here when Maddie was on and we were talking. They're here at the end. He says, "Oh, that's not it. Where are you, James? Where's the one I saw right here?" Here at the end here, he says, "Amazing. We're spending an entire segment chastising Baker. Bucs should extend Baker." I don't think any of us are anti-Baker here.
No.
I'm one of the biggest Baker fans there are, and I think he's good for the Bucs, and I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
We're just pointing out that there are some negatives to go along with his many, many positives sometimes. And I don't know about extending him because you got him for 2 more years. You don't quite want to do that right now. That's a little silly, but
yeah,
I do understand
that next year.
Yeah,
you can do that next year. But yeah, we didn't spend an entire segment excoriating Baker. We pointed out the good and the bad. This is what we told both sides of the story. Is what we did, James. So
yeah,
we're big Baker fans.
Not misinformation.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah. All right. Rick says the alien invasion has been going on for years. It's called the Southern Border. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. He says Jameis can guarantee that either team will win. Yes. And if you bet on him to throw a pick, you will win. Have to imagine, says Buck Basement, if the Rays are successful this season and the fandom shows up to the games, then I have to imagine Tampa are going to put big pressure on Stu to sell the team to them. You know what's interesting about that? Like, would a municipality purchase the team? Because then you can control all the revenues and certainly pay for your stadium.
I don't think most municipalities have that kind of bankroll.
I don't either. But
conceptually, it's not a bad idea.
The Packers are owned by the fans. They have a board of trustees and all that. So you don't have
it's not
owner.
Yeah, it's not like a local municipality, though. Yeah,
I always thought about this is like, why not the municipalities? Christopher, if the government owns anything, they'll screw it up. So we want no part of that. Right. But it's kind of an interesting concept. If like a city or the fans, we come up with a collective, we all throw a couple bucks in the hat. And we have a board, fans elect the board of directors. One person is elected as the chairman of the board, Brad Johnson, whoever. And then he has a board of directors who, chooses the GM and the coach and all that. Everybody's invested, kind of like that.
So does that mean if the city of Tampa owns the Rays, every time there's a new mayoral election and a new mayor takes office, he can fire the coach because if he doesn't like them?
Yes, that's a referendum. Let's go. Let's go. That'll get people to the polls. Seriously,
that carnival.
Like local elections get like what 20%. You do something like that, in 90% turnout.
Like
fireballs.
That's a mayoral candidate. That's his entire platform. I'm going to make the Rays a contender.
We're going to spend money, not like that cheap bastard. Yes.
Screw road maintenance. We don't need new bridges. We need a new freaking leadoff hitter.
We need a 4-hole hitter, for God's sakes. Get us some power. Who needs sewage? Come on. Let's go.
I don't care if trash is in your front yard for 3 weeks. We got to get some pitching.
Have you seen this bullpen? Screw garbage collection. Have some freaking priorities, for God's sakes. Come on.
Dude, that would be so awesome.
Oh, right? Fantastic. Well, like if elections, like if like we could run our teams by elections. Oh my God. That would be so funny.
Oh crap.
Sports radio would go through the roof, huh? We're all drunk. We are all drunk. Stuart J. Levine says, Jameson, what a joke. That's part of the Jameis magic. Yeah. The people that still mispronounce his name. Like that still think it's Jameson. That's part of it too. I just love it. James says it doesn't matter. Jameis can't throw that pick. Wasn't 34-32. All they need is a field goal. So I want to watch, but you can't throw that pick. It's why, of course, you can't throw the pick, dude. We all know that.
I mean, technically, he's a starter right now.
His Bowles is a.
Wow. Now we're getting personal.
And I love it's Bowles.
Yeah, Bowles is a coward.
Bowles. He calls him Bowles. He's a coward. Oh, you should see the things he texts me. Woo. We can
only imagine
that on the air. Why is he continuing to run his own? It's because Tyke is out. I don't know, bro. It's just look at the numbers. Todd Bowles' defense is the NFL slump buster. The Denny's waitress hit 3. Rick, you're a treasure.
I mean, they made Bryce Young look pretty good.
Oh, Mike Holcomb has this right. I hope I'm wrong, but I see Brock Bowers having a record-setting day on Sunday.
Not with Aiden O'Connell throwing him the ball.
I don't know. We've seen some pretty ordinary quarterbacks look like freaking Joe Montana.
That's true.
Kenneth McClure says, "Hey JP, I have no idea how to feel about the defensive coordinator from Nebraska that's supposed to come to Florida State. Once again, good or bad, or at least better." Look, I don't know the dude from Adam. All I did was do some research last night on his defenses, and one thing that really I think is the greatest predictor of whether he's good or not. The people in Nebraska are losing their mind. They're losing their mind that this guy is leaving. They're so pissed that they didn't pay him, they couldn't keep him. So I guess that's a pretty good sign, right? I mean, the fans that watch every single game and watch his defense year in and year out, and those Nebraska fans are knowledgeable football fans. The folks in Lincoln know their football. So if they're pissed that he's leaving, I think that's the best sign we could possibly have, because all the numbers look good. Everything in his resume looks good. I hear he's a fantastic recruiter as well. He's from Key West, so maybe he has some local ties in Florida. Get them conks coming up here. I said conks with an N.
Conk Republic. And I guarantee he wanted to get the hell away from Matt Rule, too, over in Nebraska.
Yeah, right. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Jameis hasn't changed, but it's must-see TV. I know, absolutely right.
Especially
Nathan Elliott, good
post-game.
morning to you. Nathan says, whoa, analytics. Do not mention that around Byron Leftwich. That does not exist.
Whatever happened to Byron Leftwich? What's he doing now? Does anybody know?
He turned down the Jags head coaching job.
Well, because he knows he'd suck at it.
No, because he thought he was going to get a better one.
Yeah, good luck with that.
He can't even get like a college job.
Can you think? I mean, he's not a coordinator or anything anywhere, right? I mean, he's nothing. Who would hire him?
I don't know. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Still can't get hired. Michael Sorgel says maybe Bowles should design the defense, but hand the play calling to somebody else so he can be a head coach. I think that's a great idea.
That's crazy talk, Michael.
Because maybe they'll call more man. Nathan Elliott says, hello, Tim Ham. Going to come out to the Bucs Cowboys game?
Yes, I will be there. Enjoying my end cut prime rib up in the press box.
I might have to come to Dallas for a little Christmas fun.
That'd be fun.
I came for the last one. I really enjoyed that press box. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing balls. We'll be there. Johnny and I are going to be there Saturday for a Big 12 championship game.
James says, on a TD pass by Bryce to put Panthers ahead with 30 seconds left, JJ was in no man's land. If he tries to stop Bryce, which he did, Adam Thielen wide open, that had to be Winfield's fault on that touchdown. Yeah, it's hard to tell because you don't know what the defensive call is. You know, every time you try to blame it on one guy or another, just because he's the closest guy doesn't mean it's his responsibility. You got to know what the scheme is. And with Bowles' schemes, they're so complex that you just don't know. So
it's probably part of the problem. The players don't know either.
Yeah, clearly. And, so you don't know who to blame. And so so I'm always very hesitant on that. I just point out the fact that everybody's freaking wide open. How about let's just go with that? Something's wrong. You can't be receivers don't run through defenses that wide open on other decent defenses. It just doesn't happen. That's about all we say. Michael wants to know, did Geddes go to the punting tryout? I think he did.
Oh, God.
My boy Jacob Enns is there. Michael LaRue says, Jameis is clear one of the best 32 quarterbacks, but head coaches don't want him because of his untimely turnovers. He's a coach killer. I think, didn't Troy say that last night?
Yeah.
I think Troy said that last night, or Jason Kelsey said that last night. A lot of, it just, he's absolutely mesmerizing at times, but those picks, my God. Yeah. James says the Nebraska media and fans are devastated. So that's a good deal. Jurek says, my Barbara Eden comments said JP was introduced to his first restraining order as a youth trying to get to Cocoa Beach.
Oh, that was good.
That wasn't my first restraining order. Yes, I do listen to Peter Pert, but not during the games. I got to watch the games and listen to the great insight from folks like Mark Schlereth, who I think does a great job as an analyst. I think he does a fantastic job as an analyst. I always like Chris Myers and Mark Schlereth. Great booth.
I think Mark Schlereth says things for shock value sometimes. That's my only issue with him. I just think he tries to be a shock jock.
I think when he's
maybe
doing
more on his podcast than on the broadcast.
Yeah, I think it's more the broadcast. I don't think he does a lot of that. Thomas Casper says, still think Shaq B will be a big help on Todd's D. I mean, nobody else can win off the edge. So, I mean, if he's in shape and his Achilles is healed, is he better? I mean, I don't know. Could it be worse? Yeah, I guess he could.
Yeah.
Christopher Cole says, got to play press man 85% of the game. Yeah, flip those numbers, man. Flip those numbers and see what happens. How could it be worse, right? Will Aiden O'Connell throw for 300 yards against the Bucs?
No. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
I don't think so.
Nathan Elliott says, whoop, whoop. You watching the Pewter Report tomorrow at 4? Yeah, you will. The Vulcans made first contact.
It's a great reference, Nathan Elliott. I got you, boo.
Yes, that was a great movie.
That was a great movie.
That was Jodie Foster.
No.
That was Contact.
That was Contact. Yeah.
That was Contact.
First Contact
Great
was the
movie,
Star
by
Trek
the way.
movie. It was a
What's
Star Trek
that?
movie. First Contact was a Star Trek movie.
Right. You a Star Trek fan?
Oh, yeah. Love Star Trek.
Oh. Speaking of like your youth and hotties on the screen, Captain Kirk. Oh. But by the way, if there is some alien invasions, like I hope they look like the girls on Star Trek. Remember those hotties?
Yeah, that green chick.
The green one.
Kirk made out with.
She was smoking.
Make out with a green chick on you.
I never thought, of course, color doesn't matter. It never matters.
No.
But because the green girl,
no matter what world you're from.
Right. Absolutely.
What about the 3-boobed alien from Total Recall?
The more the merrier, right? I mean, right? If 2's good, 3's better. I don't know.
3's got to be better, right?
I don't know. I won't even be able to get home after today's show.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I am in such trouble.
You're in trouble.
I don't think I ever actually addressed this part of it. I went off on my journalism rant. Tampa Sports Authority meeting about the Rays at 4 p.m. today. Listen, I think a lot of this is going to be, what can we do with the stadium? And I think there's a lot you can do with Steinbrenner Stadium because there's room in the outfield and room down the left field line to do some stuff as well, to put in some temporary bleachers, I think, to get it up and maybe get the attendance up.
There you go.
On today's show.
Careful.
So I think that can work. That may be what they're talking about today. But listen, I've said this and I'll say it again. There is a groundswell. There is a groundswell of things going on. Quick story. So I run into somebody on the TSA, Tampa Sports Authority, who's been talking about all this stuff and is definitely in the know. And it's not Eric Hart, by the way, who runs the TSA, but somebody else on the board who will remain nameless. And I ran into them in the Channel Club, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on with the Rays?" And they had this weird. They're normally very hey, what's up? What's going on? And so they were like, oh, I don't know. It was like, what? What was that reaction? It was completely shut it down. I can't talk about anything. So I'm like, that's interesting. But also, there is definitely a groundswell. People are talking. A lot of people, former politicians in the Tampa Bay area, big money people. There's just, I'm a member of Palmacia. I hear things. Okay. Where all the big money is in South Tampa. I hear things. Right. And there's scuttlebutt. There is definitely scuttlebutt about a owner, a local owner. So for whatever it's worth, not reporting anything. It's just that I tell you what I can tell you, folks. And I'm just telling you, there's been scuttlebutt. The fact that Ken Hagans is being as aggressive as he is and doing things tells me something, because he wasn't in that mode 6 months ago. He was not even close. Things have totally changed in the last month as far as his approach. So just that's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Things are happening. So what's today's meeting about? We'll see. I think it's more about getting ducks in a row and make sure they're ready if and when the time comes. This is. Oh wait, I gotta get to this. No lube, alien invasion, erotic dreams. Sounds like JP is dreaming of an anal probe Christmas. Make him the princess he deserves.
Oh, Rick,
You're sick, dude. You're sick.
I want to party with that dude.
Sick, Rick. James says it took Liam almost 3 quarters to realize the Panthers couldn't stop our run game. When they stopped calling third and a foot to go pass plays, Bucs dominated. Liam had an off game too. Agreed. I saying that in the first half. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I know the run, not every run's going to bust for 6 or 7 yards. Like, even if it's 2 or 3, just keep at it against the defense like that. But when you have a great passing game, or is it great now without Godwin? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to find things, and again, the offense is not the problem. Jordan C. says Wolstall, the county commissioner, already is going after Ken, going to the Masters on his own dime too. I'm just like, I don't know what that's all about. I saw that in the paper, and they always have a hard on for that type of stuff. Despite Ken claiming everything through the proper channels, he still assaulted his morals, character unnecessarily. I may have missed something on that, so I apologize if I missed some back and forth on that. Jeff Stutler says, agree, JP, 100%. Didn't like showing the one person who makes it sound like the taxpayers are on the hook. Yeah, like just get both sides of the story, right? It's not that hard to do, folks. It's really not.
If you're a good journalist, then you already have all the reference materials you need for both sides of the story. You don't even have to look it up.
But listen, I'm here to tell you that outside pressures from business people affect the news that you see. I know that for a fact. I know it for a fact. And like I said, back in the day when I was working at Channel 8, if someone from advertising was even seen on the news floor, it was like, what's going on over there? They're not supposed to be here. If anybody from management was seen on the news floor, it was like you're in the news director's office and you're out. Like it was like that. That's not the way this works. We're an independent news organization. Now it's like, they're handing lists, people that you can't. Well, I won't go there, but let's just say, yes, it affects now. And I'm not calling Channel 8 out in particular. I'm not doing that at all. It's across the board. It's corporate media. It is what it is. Jordan G says, I love Baker, but deep down inside, after he got judo thrown, didn't know that was legal. I wanted to see Travis fall out and Bledsoe him. Really?
Come on.
Oh, Jordan's a big gator. He's a big gator, I think.
Well, he needs to get off the Kyle Trask train because that ain't never happening.
Come on, bro. Let it go.
Y'all got better quarterbacks that came out of Florida than Kyle Trask.
Yeah, and this just in. The Trop is being damaged every day without a roof. Yeah, this just in.
It's just getting worse.
And by the Rays not declaring what they're doing, they're running out the clock against what they always do. It's about them. If it was about the community, they would be working with the community for a solution. But instead, they're trying to figure out a way where they can get out of the deal and get the real estate. That's what this is all about. I told you that months and months ago when the deal was done, and I heard he was going to pay $700 million of his own dollars plus cost overruns.
Yeah,
what did I say? That's never happening. That's never happening. So anyway,
there you go.
Jordan G says, I'll never understand playing the clock to 0 instead of playing to stop them on downs. Bowles survives again. Great soft defense. Bowles laughing my ass off. How many games can you cost a team playing 15 yards off? I know, bro. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Where will the Rays play in 26, says Scott Resnick. Okay. My guess?
I mean, that's easy.
Field.
Yeah, they'll be there for 3 years.
I think they're going to be there for 3 years. It's going to be wildly successful. It makes no sense moving them out of the market and bringing them back. That makes no sense whatsoever. You're going to see how wildly popular this, unless Stu says $250 per outfield lease, which is entirely possible. Hopefully Major League Baseball will not allow him to do that. If we have reasonable prices for tickets, there will be sold out every single game, especially in March, April, and May. Guaranteed. We'll see what the summer months bring. There won't be many games, so I think those will be well attended because there'll be very few. I think however many season tickets they offer, they will sell out. So I think it's going to be wildly successful, which will allow them to make probably more revenue than they made in Tropicana Field or close to it. and I think they'll expand it until they build a real stadium in Tampa, and that's what I think is going to happen. So
and it will be a much more enjoyable viewing experience for the fans at Steinbrenner Field than at the Trop. Like without
not only live but on TV as well.
Yeah.
Like, how boring is it to watch a game at Tropicana Field when there's 5,000 people there, and if you can hear, Aunt Judy and Aunt Lisa, in the fifth row talking about, how bad the peanuts are. It's like it's ridiculous.
You can hear private conversations going on in the stadium.
Among other things they're talking about. Yeah, and so and you see a packed stadium. I mean, when you turn on a TV and you look at it's a packed stadium and there's energy, it's a better viewing experience on TV too, right? Ratings will be up.
Yeah,
just go get some freaking hitters. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Vote for me. Vote for JP for mayor.
Ashley wants to know, where can I get a shirt like Tim's?
Fanstreamsports.com. Click on merch.
Okay, there you
go. On a website.
Do we have any JP Peterson shows?
JP Peterson branded hoodies.
My God, why don't I have one?
And mugs.
What's wrong? We have a serious problem of corporate management. I blame Gerber. I blame Gerber for everything. Yeah, we have a serious.
Yeah, just go to fanstreamsports.com.
Directors meeting.
Click on merch. Click on merch at the top. It'll take you to our spring store, and there you go.
Yeah, there you go, honey. Now you know what to get me for Christmas.
Yeah,
and you, the whole family's getting JP Peterson Show merch. Everybody's getting the merch. All right,
dang good hoodies.
Do we need to take a break? That was fun though. Thank you for all your guys. Yes. I love your comments. You make the show. It's why we do this every day. You're funny. You're insightful. You piss me off. You back me up. I love it. I love dealing with you guys, and we love the commenters. So please keep it coming. Except you, James. You're a pain in the ass.
And F you. Peace out. I'm gonna go have a
go, James. I love you too. Just stop tweeting at me so much in all caps, please. Jesus Christ.
Why are you yelling?
I know he's always yelling at me. Like Norvell. I know Norvell sucks. We can't fire him. Sorry, it's not gonna happen. What do you want me to do? Yelling at me is not gonna make it happen. Trust me. All right, quick break. When we come back, we talk college football playoff. TJ Reed's going to join us in our last 10 minutes, as he can do some days. We love that. So we've got a good last half hour coming your way. College football talk. We'll touch on all the local teams as well. Where are the Florida Gators going bowling? I want to see them beat somebody's ass besides ours. Back at 3.
Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, right down the road here. Jeff Italiano, big Seminole fan, of course, always brings you the Seminole Report. Pat Burnham will join us on Thursday after tomorrow's National Signing Day. Did you get that correct, Tim?
So yes, tomorrow starts the 3-day early signing period for National Signing Day. And then obviously the actual National Signing Day is in February, like I always do.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah,
which is completely irrelevant.
They did get rid of the National Letter of Intent Day, though. Thankfully, that's not a thing anymore.
It's all so silly. It seems silly now, doesn't it? But it's important. But it's important anyway. They're big FSU fans, and more than that, they're going to save you money, big time money. Whether you're a Gator, USF, whatever, we love you. We love you. Everybody needs insurance, right? So come on over to Italiano Insurance if you're having issues with your homeowners' claims, have some questions. Their customer service is amazing. But while they're helping you out, allow them to shop around your insurance. You never know. Probably find you some new companies. They've done it for me multiple times. Saved me thousands of dollars on auto insurance. Saved us $500 on our homeowners insurance last time around. That's right. We saved money by going to a new company. And you got to make sure your company's a good company and they pay out. And Italiano is not going to put you with a company that's going to screw you when it comes time for a hurricane payout. So that's also important. That's why you go with Italiano. Don't just go onto some website and try to find it out yourself. Let them do the work. They don't charge you anything. So call them, 813-877-7799. Wow. Tell them JP sent you. We do got it. We got a winner.
Italiano Insurance makes you a winner.
Always a winner. Always a winner. All right. So the college football playoff is upon us. This 12-team playoff, which I have been begging for 30 years, at least.
Yeah.
On my first playoff napkin. When was your first playoff napkin in a bar? Do you remember that? It's like your first love. Your first time you drew on a napkin a bracket of college football playoff and how you were going to do it. We all did it, right? Back in the 80s and 90s.
1987?
Probably, yeah. For me, as a Seminole fan, we would lose early or lose to Miami or something like that, and we'd always have the best team at the end of the year. But you already had a loss, so you're out, right? It's like, what about now? We're a better team. We got a better quarterback. We're whatever. We became you never rewarded teams for getting better as the season went on, because if you lost week 1, you were screwed. Yep. So I'm like, we have to fix this. We have to fix this. So 40 years later, the fix is in. Finally, it's 12 teams. And it still ain't enough, right? So we'll find out tonight. To me, to be the crux point here is Miami, right? Is a 2-loss ACC team going to get in before a 3-loss SEC team? The answer is F no. No freaking chance, because the ESPN suits call the shots, and it may not be Alabama. It might be Ole Miss, but I guarantee you, one of the 3-loss teams is getting in over Miami.
It won't be Ole Miss.
Bet.
The only way that happens is if it's Alabama, and if it does, that's going to be a travesty.
Why is it a travesty?
Because 3 losses for Alabama does not put them in the top 12 of the teams in college football.
But they beat Georgia and South Carolina.
So what?
The greatest teams on the planet.
No,
Georgia
ridiculous.
Almost lost to UMass.
And
Georgia.
Wait, didn't Alabama lose to Vanderbilt?
They did lose to Vanderbilt.
There
they sure did, and they lost to a terrible Oklahoma team.
It needs to be Miami
doing it,
and SMU. Leave out Alabama. But both Miami and SMU need to be in.
I heard Paul Feinbaum say today, well, Miami plays Alabama's schedule. They would have 3 losses. Would they?
You know what, Paul? We'll never know, will we? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
So stop freaking saying it. You would also say, oh, they're never going to lose at Oklahoma. They're terrible. Guess what? You got beat by a Big 12 team.
Oops.
Twice. No, Texas didn't beat. Did Texas beat Alabama? I'm trying to remember. Did they play?
Texas didn't play Alabama this year.
They didn't play Alabama. Yeah. So, but a Big 12 team has the best record in the ACC and may win it. So all this stuff about the SEC is better. Not anymore. Not anymore. Sorry.
Parity.
Are they deeper? Yeah, they're a deeper conference, but they're all middling. They're all middling, and you can't say with any definitiveness, whatever, that Alabama, if they played Miami's schedule, would they have 3 losses? I don't know. Maybe they have more. Who knows? Alabama almost lost that to USF.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sorry. What happens on the field matters, and if you lose 3 games, and you lost 3 games. Miami could go, listen, we lost 2 games barely. We lost by under 1 score. You got housed a couple times by Vanderbilt, for God's sakes, a 6-6 team. But Miami has no wins over anybody who's ranked now, so that's a problem. I don't want to be sitting here defending Miami, but to me, there's so much mid. But I do know this: ESPN will protect their properties, and they're going to put in an SEC team before an ACC team. How do I know?
Track record.
How do I know? Has that ever happened before? Of course, it's happened before.
Track record.
Yes, that's what they do. They put in a one loss team over a no loss team.
So what I absolutely love about this college football season, regardless of, there's going to be teams left out every year. Look, when there was a 4-team bracket, the 5th team was going to be pissed. When there's a 12-team bracket, the 13th team's going to be pissed. If there's a 32-team bracket, the 33rd team's going to be pissed. That's just part of sports. That's part of the game. That's how it works, right? I mean, as long as there are voting on who gets in, then it's going to be like that forever. But what I absolutely love about this, we could have a Pac-12 team win the Big Ten, Oregon.
Yep.
We could have a Pac-12 team win the Big 12.
That's right.
Arizona State.
Yep.
We could have an AAC team win the ACC.
That's right.
SMU. And we could have a Big 12 team win the SEC. Texas.
My God, this is unbelievably insightful.
Chaos and anarchy, right? And that is part of what Joey McGuire, the head coach at Texas Tech for the Red Raiders, my man, he's a legend in Texas. He's won 12 state titles as a high school coach in his tenure before he got the Texas Tech job. He was on Dave Aranda's staff at Baylor when they were good. Texas Tech picked him to come coach. He's been there 3 years. They had 8 wins in the regular, 8-4 this year, 6 conference wins in the Big 12.
Wow, nice.
He's a stud, man, and he's getting things done out in Lubbock, and he's one of my favorite people. He's a good dude. He had some hot sports opinions on this whole playoff thing after their win against West Virginia Saturday. So let's take a little gander at that here.
From last year, won the SEC. If Oregon wins the Big Ten, that means a Pac-12 team won the Big Ten. And if Arizona State, now whoever's playing, but Arizona State's got a chance to play in the Big 12 championship, so that means a Pac-12 team won the Big 12. And then if SMU wins the ACC, that means an American team won the ACC. So I think it's absolutely embarrassing what this football committee and, we got to back up what we need to do on the field so they get pissed off at me. They get pissed off at me, but it's absolutely embarrassing what they're doing to this conference. And if they look at it that way and they sit there and say, who's playing the best football, who's the most competitive conference, who week in and week out, what you see on tape and how, the games that you got to play, I think the Big 12 should be in. The Big 12 champion should be in the Final Four, right? And then when teams are talking about multiple teams, depending on who plays in that game, they should have multiple teams. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what is happening at that level with that committee, and just go back and think about that. I guess whenever you're a year away and you just change your patch on your jersey, that it actually means something, that you're in a different conference and that conference is all powerful. I mean, we all saw last night what the ACC did, to the team that's going into the championship of the SEC.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech played a great game.
Should have won the game.
Every second of it, man. And I was rooting for them, especially because, the quarterbacks.
Haynes King.
His dad's a great friend of mine, and he's such a special kid. But I just think we need to relook at this and quit looking at what patch and what logo it says on your jersey, what conference you're from, and look at the tape. I know some of the guys on there. I'm shocked that some of the old football coaches that know what they're looking at are not having more of an influence whenever it comes to that team. So I hope they do. And man, that's my deal for the Big 12, because I'm proud to be a part of this conference. I think it's great football, and man, excited to see what happens.
So he's obviously touting the Big 12 here, right? I mean, right, because that's his
Bravo.
affiliation.
Bravo. Can we just – that was absolutely fantastic.
And he's right.
I got news for you, Joey. Those football coaches that you feel are not being true to what happens on the field, they have no say. It's a sham. The whole thing's a sham. It's the ESPN suits that are picking the teams. As the committee is a complete and utter show ponies. It's all they are. It's the committee they're not doing any of that. They proved that last year. Yeah. They're not a damn football coach in the world that's going to let a Power 5 undefeated team not go to the playoff. Not a damn one, because they know what it takes to win every game that you play, especially if you lose your quarterback. Especially if you lose your quarterback and they'll go win on an SEC field without a quarterback, win a conference championship game without a quarterback. And who's to say they can't go in and beat Michigan or anybody else? Until somebody else beats them on the field, you should get a shot. That's the way it's always been. So if you think those football coaches are calling the shots on that committee, you're wrong. It's the suits. And as long as ESPN's in charge, that's what it'll be. So don't give me that shenanigans.
And he's touting the Big 12, obviously, because that's his affiliation. But any coach from any conference should have that same mindset and that same opinion. He's kind of taking a shot at Texas and Oklahoma for moving from the Big 12 to the SEC. Who's to say if they were still in the Big 12, Texas would still probably be in the same position? They didn't play a hard SEC schedule. They hardly played anybody. They probably would have played a harder schedule in the Big 12.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So
teams that, by the way, teams that know them and aren't afraid to go to Austin or they're not intimidated by the Horns because they've been playing them forever. Those are tougher games. I'm sorry that this proves though what he's saying is all this bias. Well, the SEC is a harder schedule. No, it's not. It's not. Not this year.
Nope.
Certainly not this year. It's because how do I know? Because the Big 12 team just played an SEC schedule and won and went undefeated or lost one game.
Yeah.
So no, and all those an American team came in and trounced the ACC. Good football is good football,
Yeah, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. Just it should be the 12 best teams, the 12 hottest teams, the 12 best teams.
I agree. By
the way, I just want to say this before we move on. Before we end college football talk, I hope Georgia effing rolls the Longhorns. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Aggie man. You went to the game, the Texas A&M game, right?
I did, yeah.
How was that?
It was everything I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Questionable play calling by the Aggies when they should have put themselves in a chance to win the game. The Aggies defense stepped up against the Longhorns, which I knew they would. If you would have told me before the game the Aggies are going to have a pick six and hold the Longhorns to 17 points, I'd have said we won the game 35-17. But we didn't have Le'Veon Moss, our number one rusher, and you know what? Play calling was extremely questionable. I don't know why the Aggies thought they could run straight on into the Texas Longhorns defensive line. They kept doing it over and over, and it never worked. And at the end of the game, when he had a chance to win or to tie or get up there, they just kept doing it in the red zone, and it never works out. So it hurts. It hurts.
All right, well, let's bring in our good friend TJ Reeves, Bucs sideline guy, fresh from his trek to Charlotte, where Anthony Babyface Nelson saved the season with the greatest strip since the 1980s Mons Venus run.
The metaphors are flying already at the beginning of the program.
Yes, sir. How are you, partner?
I'm good. You want me to put, I'm a man of many hats, as you see behind me. You want me to put this hat on?
There it is. Yeah,
baby. Talk a little BUCCANEERS, go Bucs. Let me say at the outset here, as we've entered the month of December, weren't we doing this 12 months ago? Where we were saying you're in must-win mode.
Yeah.
And there were some saying, oh, tank the season, fire everybody into the sun, get a better draft pick. Bucs sideline guys not selling that on Tuesday. Win the games and make the playoffs. We want the playoffs. We want the playoff checks.
Yes.
I did catch some of the award-winning J.P. Peterson show yesterday with you and Nick Geddes parsing a December win. My friend, let me put you in your lane. Do not parse December victories. Let's take December victories. How many times in the 2010s did we blow everything in December with this franchise? Take a December win. I don't care if it's against Hillsborough High School. Take it. Take it because it's
I'm not giving it back. I'm not giving it back, but I'm just, I'm not putting lipstick on a turd either.
They did not play well. They did not play well in a lot of aspects, but they still found a way to win. I mean, there were heroic plays.
Yes, there were.
Mayfield scramble on the bad leg to help you get in field goal range is a heroic play. The 51-yard kick, as he demonstrated in overtime, is not a gimme. Heroic moment with no time left. Anthony Nelson, again, you're in dire straits. You're on the verge of losing the game when he strips that ball out. So several heroic plays. Wasn't pretty, but it is a dub.
Gritty and exciting runs by Bucky Irving. First time he's had 25 carries, and he goes for 152. Yes. I'm not sure if he can handle that kind of load. I'm not sure I want him to handle that kind of load, but I do love the fact that they stuck with him, and he won the game. He really, yes, Babyface Nelson had the play of the game, no question about it. Baker's play was unbelievable, but in total, Bucky was the MVP. And you can say, well, why didn't we get 25 carries from Bucky? The last 10 games. Well, it's a process. He's a rookie. Should he have gotten a few more carries along the way? Yeah, probably. But I think we're nitpicking here. And look, he's pretty banged up after the game. You saw it, right?
Yes, and he had the hip injury from the hit at halftime on the kickoff return, which is a whole nother debate about should he be back there anymore if he's the feature back when you've got receivers and other guys that can return kicks. I get that. So they were wrapping that hip from the start of the third quarter, and he's out there taking some blows in the second half. On it and still got a touchdown, went over 100 yards. Part of what the argument is with what you're saying, you were behind in a lot of those games during the losing streak where you're not going to run the ball with the back 25 times trying to catch up when you're down 2 scores, etc. Here, I thought Liam Cohen again demonstrated we will stick with the run as long as it's effective. What was the drive? Was it the drive in the second quarter where they ran the ball, I believe, 7 consecutive times? It was just, we're going to keep pounding you. Granted,
that was the go-ahead drive in the fourth quarter, I believe.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, he got it. He got the ball 9 or 8 of the 11 plays and 60 of the 60-some yards. Yeah.
Can I share something with you? Because this was probably not on the TV, but this is what you love here on the J.P. Peterson Show, some anecdotes and what you get. So at the end of the third quarter, they do the keep pounding. That's their phrase thing, keep pounding. They do it at the beginning of the game with like a celebrity. The guy from the Savannah Bananas, the founder of the Savannah Bananas in the yellow tuxedo with the hat, he did the keep pounding at the beginning of the game. So he hit the big drum that they have with the mascot there, and everybody was okay. They do the same thing now at the end of the third quarter where they dim the lights like in the club, and they've got the blue and the gray lights blinking.
Oh, wow.
And they brought, who they brought out? They brought out He Hate Me Rod Smart from the XFL. Rod Smart, former Carolina Panther briefly. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown with
Lakeland's
Carolina.
Lakeland's own.
Lakeland, very nice. 10 bonus points for J.P. Peterson on a Tuesday with He Hate Me from the XFL original, which was tremendous because he had it on the jersey and they wondered why. And he said, because they're watching on film and he hate me and he hate me and he hate me when he's running at him. I swear to you, I think he was intoxicated.
Oh,
I do, because
so.
he came out to hit the big drum, he almost missed it on the first swing. And then the next pound, he sort of hit it, and everybody's going, we're going to be here till Tuesday if somebody doesn't help him.
He hate me with the he drank me.
He drank me. He drank me's trying to pound the pound. This is what you get on the J.P. Peterson show. I have not shared that anywhere.
That's
yet.
outstanding.
And maybe that was an omen for the fourth quarter in the overtime for the Panthers that they couldn't put it away. Is that he hate me almost like Barry Bonds swung and missed on an occasion. Okay, so anyway, you found a way to win that game.
Yeah.
You'll see that team again. I knew I'd make you laugh on it.
That was fantastic.
And all of that is non-exaggerated truth. It's going on about 20 feet from me back behind me in the tunnel. So I'm like, what are they doing here in the tunnel? They've got the fog machine and everything. They had the fog going and the lights, and he came out the whole bit. All right, so the Buccaneers.
Did he have a jersey on that said he hate me, or did you just recognize him?
He had his Panther jersey on. I don't know if it said he hate me on the back or if it said smart. I can't confirm what it said. Somebody's got to have video of that on the internet.
Yeah, we'll find out for sure. Yeah,
ton of Buccaneer fans were down in that lower level and in that corner behind the Buck bench. But in any event, look, the Panthers are better. I am not rationalizing. I'm telling you, they're better than what they were at the beginning of the year.
Yes,
they play hard.
absolutely.
Bryce Young, they've gone back to. He's mobile and can make some plays.
He makes some crazy plays.
Yes, they hung right in there with Kansas City the week before, and Kansas City beat them at the end, and now the Buccaneers did that. So file that away for the end of the year. That's not a layup at the end of the year with them, much less the Saints in the final game, which brings us to the comedy that is the Raiders coming to Raymond James Stadium for this week. You have got to take advantage of this. You've got to demoralize them. They've lost, 8 in a row? You got to demoralize them at the beginning of this game and do what you did to the New York Giants. Don't give them any life. Their quarterback situation in total disarray. The choice of Aiden O'Connell or Desmond Ridder right now for the 8 losses in a row for the Las Vegas Raiders. So take care of this game. Another December win. That would make you 7-6, and it sets up the final 4 games with the Chargers. That's not going to be easy in L.A. Somebody's Dallas Cowboys, Timmy. We're coming there. And then the final 2 home games. But meaningful football coming up. Take care of business with the Raiders, and you got meaningful games down the stretch.
Question for you, my friend. Who's it going to be next week? Tom Tupa? Mark Royals? Pick your favorite former Buccaneer punter. I know you got some great ones in the back of your brain.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Who's punting next week? Mark Royals is in great shape. He can do it.
I see your Tom Tupa and your Mark Royals? And do we go back to Frank Garcia? While we digress, Frank Garcia was the punter in the late 80s for the bad Buccaneers, like the Ray Perkins, Richard Williamson, horrible year after year. So a young TJ is subscribing to the old incarnation of the Buccaneer magazine, the newsletter, the magazine. Yeah. All right, so now it's known as the Pewter Report. Scott Reynolds is on, but this is the first incarnation in the 80s. And this is pathetic, and I'm going to call them out. They were so bad. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, trying to read up on my Buccaneers because they would never show the Bucs on TV. And I swear to you, they did not understand first-class mail or whatever, mailing me my subscription to the Buccaneer magazine, because I would literally get the Buccaneer magazine like 2 weeks late. I would literally get it 2 games later that I'm getting the Buccaneer magazine. My point is, with Frank Garcia, the punter, he was a pretty good punter. But they literally named him the Buccaneer Player of the Week like 3 times that year under Ray Perkins. Frank Garcia, the punter, is the player of the week.
It's like FSU this year. Is either Fitzgerald or Mastromano. There's nobody else.
Pick the punter or the kicker. So while we totally digress on a Tuesday, I used to get 2-week-old Buccaneer magazines in Memphis, Tennessee with Frank Garcia.
Glorious.
So maybe, I don't know what Frank's doing. Frank's got to be 60, maybe 65. I don't think he's the punter for this week. But
I
I'm
vote
sure
and Andrewsision.
The late Z and Andrewsision, who passed away from cancer a couple years ago. Who you voting for?
I vote for Josh Bidwell or Ray Criswell. One of those.
Josh Bidwell, a fantastic reference as an early 2000s.
Did Reggie Roby ever punt for the Bucs?
Yes,
he did.
Back
Right
in the 90s under Sam White.
I remember him in Creamsicle.
And remember, Reggie Roby had a cookie business, and he would bake cookies, and he would bring them to the facility, the old $1. Reggie Roby cookies
Remember he
were
wore
outstanding.
a watch? Remember he wore a watch?
Yes.
Like for his hang time, like that was 17 seconds.
Reggie Roby, he punted a couple of years for the Buccaneers. Maybe Reggie's available.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure that me, and Timmy couldn't punt it better than a couple of those punts on Sunday. I mean, that was Shank-opotamus a couple of times.
Shank-opotamus, skank-opotamus.
By the way, Reggie Roby passed away in 2005.
Unfortunately, Reggie Roby died too. We're running out of options, but he did have the watch on. Remember, he punted for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and played for the Bucs.
Hall of Famer, didn't he? You know,
Man, Ray Guy and Reggie Roby were my two favorite punters ever in the NFL, and Danny White.
Yeah, for the hit.
Anyway, we ain't seeing any of those missile shots anytime soon because these guys, I don't know who's going to be
Dare I
next.
say, they don't consult me. But what would be wrong with going back and trying Jake Camarda here? And by the way, you need him as a holder, etc.
That's the thing. It's the hold.
I don't
it's
know.
The holding I'm worried about.
I don't know.
Because that can come back and bite you in the ass big time.
Correct. So we'll see what they end up doing there at punter or not. I don't know how much you're going to have to worry about the punter against the Raiders. Let's hope it's not much. Timmy, we are headed your way.
I'm aware. Yeah.
Timmy, I got to get with you and a couple of my other chaps because that is the day of the college football playoff mayhem, as well as Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing that afternoon, as well as the undisputed heavyweight boxing championship rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury.
This is all on December 22nd?
This is all December 21st on the Saturday. On the 21st, on the same day before the Sunday night game. JP, you got to get out to Dallas, and we got to go all hang with Tim Ham.
Yeah, I think that's got to happen. I do believe that's got to happen. Okay, we're working on that.
All right, so where else, because I know you got to go, where else are you going to get the he hate me?
That's why I bring you on, bro. We don't have show notes for TJ.
References.
There's no show notes. He just shows up and dazzles.
References. Again, keep the faith that a win over the Raiders puts you right in squarely in the picture to win the NFC South, which I believe you're going to have to win the division. I don't know that the Bucs are going to get to 11 games, and I think wild card you're going to have to have 11 wins.
You got to go 4-1. You got to go 4-1, and if we keep playing zone defense, we won't.
Hey, and I've got some real quick. I've got some Bucs trivia for TJ.
Please lay it on
TJ.
me.
And it's multiple choice.
Okay.
Who holds the record for the most scrimmage yards through 12 games in Buccaneers history? Here are your choices.
The list.
Doug Martin, Bucky Irving, Warwick Dunn, or Mike Evans.
Interesting. Yards from scrimmage. Doesn't count returns, which none of those guys were returners. Through 12 games. Is this a loaded question that it's Bucky Irving? I'm saying no. Doug Martin, remember, against the Raiders in Oakland. JP, you were out there. Weren't we out there when he had like almost 300 yards rushing in a game that year? I am going to say loaded question. It's Warwick Dunn. I'll go Warwick Dunn through 12 games. How'd I do?
You're close, but no cigar, TJ. Warwick Dunn is number 3 on the list at 982 yards through 12 weeks in 1997.
Okay.
Mike Evans, number 4 in 2014 with 890. Your winner, 2012, Doug Martin, on a 7-9 team.
Correct.
Had 1,480 yards from scrimmage.
But almost
through 12 games.
Almost 300 of them were rushing in the Raiders game.
Right. The muscle hamster.
The Oakland Coliseum.
Second
muscle
place,
hamster, one of the greatest nicknames of all time that he didn't like.
Yes.
He hated it.
Correct.
Second place is Bucky Irvin. Michael Irvin and Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving this year with 1,017 yards from scrimmage through 12 games. Is this guy going to be a gamer or what?
If the hip is better, keep feeding him against the Raiders. I love it. I look forward to being back with you next week.
Thank you, partner.
Spew some more optimism before the Chargers game. Buccaneers, meaningful football coming up here. Just keep winning, and be relevant. You guys have a great week.
Love you, brother. The great TJ Reeves, Bucs Online guy. Nothing But Bucs podcast.
Yes.
Really, really good this week. It's a good every week, especially this
Gene
week.
Screaming
Oh,
in the overtime and the Anthony Nelson fumble. It's tremendous. Relive all the interviews while I'm walking up to guys. How about Anthony Nelson? You've already covered this. Wife had the baby Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
He strips the ball out. They win in overtime to keep the season alive. What a story to tell baby Eli. Eli Nelson, born on Friday. What a story to tell him later in life about Thanksgiving weekend 2024. Hello.
Hey, TJ, you remember that? You remember this Anthony Nelson?
Chuba. Yeah.
There's Anthony Nelson right there.
Is that and I Dream of Jeannie? And believe it or not, Larry Hagman died decades ago. Barbara Eden is 93 years old and still alive and looks good for 93. It is crazy. She's still Jeannie is still alive at 93. The things you find out on the JP Peterson show.
Yes, by the way, Larry Hagman passed away in 2012, a native of Weatherford, Texas, just to the west of us here now.
Wow. We are really going in the weeds.
Covering
now.
it. We're covering it all. You boys have a great day, a great week. I'll be with you next week.
I think Mrs. Nelson should rename the child Chuba in honor of the strip of Chuba Hubbard.
Eli, by the way, Eli is biblical, and it was biblical.
I have a son named Eli. One of my sons is named Eli. So there you go.
Oh, nice. There you go. Thank you.
I'm not naming him Chuba.
All right, let's end this disgraceful broadcast that we had today. Think of alien invasions, alien erotic dreams,
paint talk.
Oh my God. If you missed anything, boy, you got to go back and listen to the podcast.
Rewind.
Apple and Spotify. We do this every day, folks. So hope you enjoyed today's excursion. The SS Minnow, the shipwreck. Our thanks to Matt Matera and TJ Reeves and Timmy. You did a great job as always. Lots of fun today. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. It's National Signing Day. Florida State will get nobody. And the Gators are loading up. We'll see what USF does as well. And we'll have some fun. Have a great day, everybody.